Hello everyone, this is Sensuous One, and I just want to come on and share with you guys a technique using my sparkle glaze that I make, and I will link the video to that in the description box below. And I'm also going to be using this Tim Holtz doily stencil. It comes off of here. This is how it looks when you get it. But it's a Tim Holtz doily stencil. And I'm going to be paper piecing onto one of these Prima dolls. And so I just wanted to show you what stamp I'll be using. I'll be using this one. And I've stamped the image out twice. One to work on, and then the other pieces will be what I'm going to stencil. Now I'm going to stencil the dress that I've already cut out. And I'm going to attempt to do the headband piece. I've already cut it out, but we'll see how it goes. If it's too small, I'll just have to color it on the doll itself. So first, this is going to be, I guess like spring colors. So I picked out some colors here, and the colors that I'm going to be using are YG03, YG00, B02, B00, RV04, and RV02. So I have to turn it this way so I can color it. So I'm trying to turn it so you guys can see. So I think I'm going to start with probably the green colors. And I want her dress to have like a gradient effect. So I'm just going to kind of like blend the colors in. And you know, it's going to be stenciled on top of it. So the colors will show through the stenciling, because the only thing you're going to see is the sparkle effect from the glaze that I've made. And I'll show you the glaze before I use it. So just roughly gonna color this in. Yeah, I want it to go dark to light. So in no particular pattern or fashion, I'm just going to color it in. I just wanted you guys to see it from start to finish. I don't usually do tutorials, but I'm going to try it out. Alright, so then I'll just go back over this to give it one, so I don't see many stroke lines. And then down here I'm just gonna how do I want to do this? Just feather it a little bit. I should have did it first before I evened it out, but I'll just even it out again. Now with the light strokes at the end of where your color is going to end at will help the two colors blend together. It shouldn't be that noticeable once you put your stencil on top of it. So then I'm going to go in with the next lightest color, the B00. And just blend it all the way up through the last color that I put down. I'm sorry for the silence. If I can edit it to speed it up, I will. But I've never tried to do that, so haven't perfected that part of editing my videos yet. Then I'll go over it one more time. Bring it all the way up through the last color. Alright, I think that's good. And then I might do some pink on the bottom. Now because this section is so small, I'll probably go ahead and stroke it, do the strokes on the bottom. I'm going to turn it again, sorry. So I'm going to do some light strokes going down on that little bottom part of her dress. And also I'm going to use this Prima doll for a challenge that I'm going to enter for Marilyn G. And if you guys have not seen her Prima doll tag springtime challenge, I will link that in the description box below as well. Alright, so that was the RV04. I'm going to go in with the RV02 and just color it in, blending it up into the other color. What I'm hoping for is like a pretty effect behind the stencil I'm going to put on. I haven't tried this yet, so this is my first time doing it now on camera with you guys. Now her headband, which is this little piece right here. I was thinking I want to do a solid color, but I might just put a little bit of the 3 colors. So I'll put some yellow on the side. Well, this is the RG00. Then I use some of the B00. And then I use some of the RB02 on the other side. I just use the lighter shades of the 3 colors that I'm using. Alright, so now I'm going to put this out the way. And we're going to start with, I guess I can try to do both pieces at the same time. So I'll just place them. And then, might not be able to do it that way, huh? May have to let it dry and then move the stencil. Yep, I'm gonna have to do that because the dress is kind of wide. So I'm gonna do this half of the dress first. Like I said, I had no plan. I'm just winging it right now, just off of a thought in my head that I have. So I'm gonna kind of place it right where I want it. And usually with the heat tool, you can pretty much dry the sparkle glaze. So I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put a little piece of tape at the top of my stencil, just so it doesn't move too much once I get ready to put the sparkle glaze on. And this is the color glaze I'm gonna be using. It's like a silvery, if you can see that, it's like a silvery metallic color. And I'm gonna use this, and you can see it's kind of thick. And like I said, I have a tutorial that I'll put in the description box below. So I'm gonna put it on the back side of my spatula, and I'm going to just put it on. So I'm gonna do this in sections. Like I said, I'm gonna have to let this side dry before I can go on to the other side, and I just hope it comes out the way I'm expecting it to come out. Put it all over, and then just kind of scrape off the excess on the top, making sure not to move your stencil, otherwise you're going to have smudge lines. And because this is not a lot, it shouldn't take very long at all to dry. So where should I start? So I'll pull it up from here. Make sure you hold on to your paper that you're stenciling on. And am I in frame? I think I'm covering it up. Okay. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so alright, so that's the stencil with the glitter glaze on it. And I'm going to hold the paper piecing part that I'm doing here, and I'm going to lift this up. Tape on there, okay. And I'm going to lift my image off of here. So far this is what it looks like. Hope you can see that. Oh, the light is too bright. Or is that too dark now? I don't know, but you can see it. The light is kind of washing it out. But when it dries, it's going to look really sparkly. So I'll be back once this section dries, and we'll go on to the next section. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back, and this section has, let me zoom in a little bit, has dried. As you can see, this is how it turned out. And I'm going to try to get the stencil as close as I can to this section over here to fill it in. And then this is the headband piece. It's really small, but I'm going to cut it out anyway just to see how it looks. I'm going to cut it out and paper piece it onto the image. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this. And just going to kind of try to see where I want to place it. Just looking at the patterns on here. And just hoping not to overlap it too much, so it doesn't drown out the pattern that's already on there. Alright, so I think I'm going to do it about there. Try to do it right where the other one stops. So I'm going to get my glaze. You can see that. Still, the light's not really good right now to show it. And I'm going to put that on there. So I decided to go ahead and do the, this is, like I said, this is for the Prima doll challenge that I'm going to be sending in. So I decided to go ahead and do the whole thing start to finish. I just won't upload it until Marilyn gets her tag. That way she can be surprised as to what it looks like. Alright, so that's the other side. And I'm going to let that dry. Put it off to the side. And then, let's see. Let's just stuff off. Get this out the way. And then for my Prima doll, let's see. I usually, I guess I'll start with my skin tones and move my T out the way. And I usually use E13, E15, YR21, and I think it was E11. These colors here are the ones I usually use for my skin tones. It's kind of like a tannish color. So I'll first start with my lightest shade, which is the E11, and I'll go over all of her skin. Now this part you don't have to be particularly too neat, because it's going to be the dress is going to be paper pieced and she's going to be cut out anyway, so I'm not too worried about staying in lines. for this part. And then I'll take some of the E15 and just go around the outside of like her face and her hairline from the edge of her bangs, under her neck to give a little shadow, a little across her shoulders, and the section, usually the side closer to her body is where you'll see most of the shadows. Okay, hope I'm still in frame. Sorry if I wasn't. Okay, and then I go in with my E13. Blending out from the dark shade that I did all the way down. Just lightly brushing it over. And then I'll take my YR21 to blend everything together. Make sure I'm still in frame. And if you notice your lines are still a little too dark, just touch it with the color. And it'll blend them right in. And this arm is looking a little too yellow, so I'll go back in with a little bit of the E13. And usually this is how I achieve the color that I want. I just keep, you can always add more color. It's better to have not enough color than too much color, because you can always go back in and adjust it. And then I go back over again with the YR21. And the YR21 just kind of lightens it a little and blends all the colors together. So that's my skin. And then for her hair, I don't know, I think I'm gonna give her red hair. So I'm gonna use lipstick red and usually a coral color. So I'm going to use R29 and R35. R35 will be the lightest, so I'm going to go on with my R29 and just do light strokes out from the base of her hair. And down from her bangs. And I'm not in frame, sorry. I keep forgetting I zoomed the camera in. Sorry about that. Okay, so I did around her headband, I just did light strokes out that way. I could bring it in a little more so you can see it better. Okay. And then I'm going to do some, this is still the same R29 colors down here. And then I'll do some light strokes from the outer edge of her hair down towards the middle. And that will help give it that the light effect, or the light shining on her type effect. And then I'm going with the coral, which is the R35, and just usually I just go over top of all the whole thing very lightly, and I don't want too much of a shadow on it, just want a very faint gradient. Now if you do, I do want it a little darker, so I'm going to go back in with the R29 just from the outer edge, the same as I did from the beginning. Just stroking it in, stroking this side up. I'm out of frame again, sorry. I'm not really good at this. I will get better at tutorials, I promise. So I'm just, like I said, going over what I already did, just to make that first red a little bit deeper. And you can see how it looks. And then I'll go over the coral color, which is the R35, again as well. Just very lightly. And you can still see the highlights in her hair. When I look at it, and then look at it through the camera, it looks totally different. But that's that. Okay, so like I said, her headband, and her dress are gonna be paper piece. So that's all the coloring I'm gonna be doing with Copic markers on that. I have her headband here, which is right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to cut this out along the line. Which way I want to start? This way. So I'm gonna follow the black outline. If I don't mess it up. This style that has a sparkle glaze on it, it's a little tougher to cut. And now it's super small. I don't know how I want to get this piece out. Hang on a second. Because I have to hold it up to me so I can see. I'm going to try to edit this part out so you don't have to wait for me to finish cutting this. Alright, so there's her headband. It's a really tiny piece. And we'll just see if it's going to fit on here. Yep. So it's going to look like that. Does that focus in for me? It's not glued down yet, but you'll get an idea of what it's going to look like. So before I paper piece her, I'm going to cut her out and wait for the dress to dry, and then we'll come back and finish the rest. Okay, so for the wings, I'll just show you real quick the technique I'm thinking in my head. I'm just hoping that it works. So this is one set of the wings. Like I said, I'm going to have to do two, but I'm thinking if I take a piece of lace, let's see, and kind of cut it to the size, not exactly the size. I'm going to trim it off after. I'm thinking I'm going to trim it when it dries. It'll probably be a little more sturdy. I'm cutting this from an awkward angle, so I'm going to turn it around. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to use some of this, which is the Collage Page, and it has a little bit of sparkle in it. So I'm going to use that and go over top of this to adhere this material to the wings. Let it completely dry, and when it's hard, then trim off the excess. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so the wings have dried, and this is what it turned out. This is how it turned out. And you can still see the black lines from where I drew it. And I did go ahead and cut out one of them so you can see. So this is how it's going to look And I think it came out really pretty with the lace on top of it. But you can still see the, even though I did put the gesso and the white acrylic paint over top of it before I layered the lace, you can still see the black lines came through once I put the Mod Podge on. So I think I'm going to use some of this Bella paint. This is in the Princess Pink. I'm just going to focus. No? Princess Pink. And this is the Bella colors. And I got these from Home Depot. It came in like a set of all the colors. So I'm thinking I'm going to use a little bit of this to try to mask out some of that black that I don't want showing. And just touch it up on the edges. Edges in any of the black that's showing like in between. Now these wings don't have any rhyme or reason. It was just free-handed, and as I cut it, I just cut out little notches to make it look like it was feathering out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this to the whole thing, go around all the edges, and prep the other one as well. And then once it dries, we will be ready to put the tag together. So I'll be back. Okay, so for the construction of the tag, I used some chipboard, and I cut out this tag shape here that I'm going to use. And I've decided to use this paper. It's kind of like a pastel-y green color, and it came from My Favorite Things by Recollections. So that's the paper I'm going to use. Now the twist to this tag, this Prima Doll spring tag, is that it has to have wings. So I'm going to add some butterflies that I have already cut out while I wait for everything to dry. And these are some butterflies, and I have to pop out the little pieces. But these are monarch butterfly cutouts, and these are from Diamond Dies. So I've cut out some big ones and some small ones. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet, but I just have some cut out already. And then I drew some wings on a piece of chipboard, and then I cut them out, and you can see I taped them together. I drew one and traced out two, flipped it over, and did the other side. So somehow or another, I haven't decided how yet, I'm going to put these behind my Prima Doll. And I'm thinking that I want to cover these with some of this pink lace. So I'm probably not going to do it on camera, but what I'm going to do is use some Mod Podge and glue this down to the wings, and then once it dries, I'm going to trim off, flip it over and trim off the excess. So that's one step I'm going to do while everything is drying. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to adhere my paper to the front and back of my chipboard. And I think I'm going to use this color here. This is YG03, and usually what I like to do is just take some of the color and just, if you can see that, but just ink on the edge so that if it is seen from the side, it doesn't look like just the plain, the chipboard color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on all my edges. And sometimes it's just little details that pull everything all together. And let's see, what else? I'm going to take my put my Prima Doll together. This is the Prima Doll, and I have to take a X-Acto knife and cut out the little piece under her arm. But once I'm done that, this dress pops in on top. and that is what her dress is going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and prep the doll, prep my tag, and prep my wings, and then I'll be back with the construction of everything. And then I use my little mess over here. This is like some bunch of flowers that I pulled out, just some things I might use. So I just pulled out a bunch of spring colors to see what works and how it's gonna go. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the wings drying, and I'm gonna do, I think I'm just gonna probably do one of these little monarch butterflies, and I need to first pop out, need a smaller one, pop out these little pieces of the wings. And these dies are so pretty. They come in a small and a large. I think the small ones will be big enough for this tag. There's the butterfly. And it comes with the 2 dies in the set. It has the punch out piece, and then it has the solid piece. But I think what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to go ahead and use some of this glue and adhere this down. Now I usually only do like the edges and the middle because of the holes, but it shouldn't be a problem because I think I'm going to put some stickles. So if it comes through little holes, it'll be okay. Get some of the antennas, hold it all together. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm just going to put them all together. I'm gonna figure I'll go ahead and prep this now so it can be drying. Put the little antennas together. So I'm gonna let that sit there. I'll probably put that on top of it to hold it a little bit. So it's just like a little wooden piece I'm going to use on the tag. So this is the tag that I've covered. And I think I'm going to use some of this. I believe I got this from One Little Dreamer. I don't know if the light is washing it out or not, but it's a really pretty trellis-like trim, and it's a really pale pink color. So my doll is not constructed yet, but I'm trying to use it for placement. I think I'm gonna put the lace on the left side. And I think I want it about here. Yeah, I'm gonna put it about there. Glue gun, and I'm trying to think where I want to glue it at because I don't want the glue seeping through. Probably glue it behind the flower. Out there. Oh, I think I want to add some of these. I have these little pieces here from One Little Dreamer. They were like trim that I took apart. I'll probably add some of that. And that will kind of help me hold it down without having to use so much glue. I don't want it to seep through my project, or seep through the lace. I'm going to put it right in between where the flowers are. Yeah, that should be good. So one more piece right there. I think I have one more. Okay, I got one more right here. Put that on. I didn't put one on the very bottom because it looks like her dress is going to cover that section of it, so it'll be okay. And then I have a little excess down here and up here. Let's trim that off. Trim it across that way. Voila. That's the start of our tag. And then, let's see. It's a cute little piece. I use that somewhere on there. I'm going to go ahead and put, no, I said I was going to prep this, but I didn't do it yet. I need a small mat. And the mat right now is buried under all the stuff. Oh, and I did pull out my my other card that I made using that Tim Holtz doily. And I'll show you real quick. This is another card that I made recently, and I used that same doily die. Only difference is I did it with distress ink on top of, well, I colored her dress pink, and I used a vintage photo distress ink to make the pattern using that same doily stencil. So you can do it with the texture paste, or you can even do it with inks. I'm just gonna cut this piece out real quick. Around the arm. I know I said I was going to do this before, but my kids distracted me, so I didn't get a chance to do it. And it's about bedtime now, so they are winding down. Alright, so that should pop right out. Another thing I like to do with my my images when I fussy cut them out, I like to go around the edges with a black marker, usually a black Copic. I want to say this thing is getting used and abused. Okay, black Copic, and I use a flat side for most of the flat edges, but all around the edges, or because you see the white, I just think it makes it look a little more finished when you do it that way. So I'm going to go just around the edges. Around here. And then for her hair, because it's not a smooth surface, I use the other tip to go around, just to fill in those white edges you see from cutting it out. And then I also go inside the arm piece and around her body. So there. Just makes it look a little more finished, if you will. And then I'm going to use, let's see, use some of this glue stick for most of the bigger part of her dress. I guess like all around the bottom it should be okay. And then for the small part, I'll just use some of this. So put her dress on. Looks like I need a little more down here. Make sure it sticks good. This mat needs a good cleaning. Been busy. Alright, so I want to stick the top down first. I can get it even. Not getting glue everywhere. And just push it down. I don't really want to rub it because it has the texture on the top of it. And then I'm going to get her headband before I lose it because it's so small, and put that piece on. Before I put that on, I almost forgot. I didn't do the edge of it because I hate when I can see that that white ring around the piece. So I'll have to glue it again, but it'll be alright. On my in camera. Sorry, I keep going out of frame. Alright. I'm going to glue this again. And there's our Prima doll. She's all dressed. Alright, so I'm going to let her sit over here to dry a little bit. My wings are still wet, so. And I noticed the black that I used to draw the wings is kind of coming through on the lace I put on, so I might use some pink acrylic paint. I'm going to use this piece also on there. And let me check my butterfly. Should be dry. Yeah, it's dry. So usually what I like to do is take some small pearls. Where are my small pearls? Yeah, where's that box at? The Hello Kitty box. Let me find my pearls really quick. I just saw them. was not prepared for this step, but I have some pearls that I can use. This has like some other bric-a-brac stuff in here. If these are the smaller ones, yeah, these are the small ones. And what I like to do is put some of these in the center. Now, I need a little stronger hold than that first glue I used. I'm going to use some of this fine line glue. Just put a little bit in the center. Excuse me. And probably only need about 3. Pull the bag back up. Okay. So right where I have the glue, I'm just going to adhere the pearls for like the body of the butterfly. And then in the openings of the cutouts, I'm going to put some of this yellow stickles. I'm just only placing it in the parts that were popped out from the cutout. Alright, so let's just want to add a little bit of shine to the butterfly. So I can get it without messing it up. Alright, so this is what our butterfly is going to look like. Is my camera focusing? Yeah. So it's going to be the butterfly, the pearls on the body, and the stickles in the open parts. So I'll put that over here with my little heater to dry. And then I'm going to do the, I don't need this cutting mat anymore. I'm going to do the, this piece here. I'm thinking I want to do this, like a peachy color. So I'm going to use this YR02, which is like a, it says light orange. And I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put it on so it sits like this. Yeah, so some of the back of it is going to show. So I'll just mark how far down the back I need to color it. I'm not going to worry about doing the whole thing because it's not going to be seen. So I'm just going to add some color right up in here. And this little chipboard piece I got from Michael's. Actually, I don't want to mess up my tip. I'm use the flat side. And add some color just on the parts that's going to be peeking out on the back side. And then the front, I'm going to color the whole front side. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to color the whole thing the same color. What you need to do? Oh. Alright, so it's going to look like that. And then I'm going to take, I couldn't find my orange stickles, or my peachy stickles, so I'm going to use some of this, which is the crystal stickles. And I'm going to put this all over. I know there's a shadow. This lighting is not good right here. But I'm going to put it all over the top. I figured I'd use the crystal since I couldn't find the color I wanted. It'll still see the other color coming through it, but it'll still have a little bit of shine as well. I had my bottle upside down and ready, but I didn't. Alright, so this one's going to look like this. This is the top piece I'm going to use on top of the tag. I'm going to put this to the side, let it dry. And let's see. I guess I can go ahead and put my my doll down. Yep, put her down now. I think she's ready to go. No, I can't put her down yet because I want to do the wings behind her. So we're going to have to take a pause here, and once the wings have completely dried, and I'll come back and show you when I trim them out. Okay, so everything's dry, and I think we can start with the construction now. And while I was waiting, I took some of this mint colored seam binding and made like a little bow. Let's see how I did this. Okay, so I just looped it around, and then I took another piece and tied a bow right here. If you can see, there's a bow on top of that. Haven't quite thought about how I'm going to put it together, but we'll see how it works. But I know I want it at the top, so I'll go ahead and put it in from the back. Get both pieces through. And I think I want the end of it to be like hidden. Let's see, hold on. I lost. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to put this on. A little bit of glue. And after I flip it over, I'm going to cut off this little excess up here. So it's going to be like that. I think I might end up putting a doily or something over here. But for right now, I'm going to add, I can have more than one doily up here. Okay, so my phone stopped recording in the middle of me showing the rest of the tag, and I lost the footage, but I'll just go ahead and show you real quick what I did. I just layered. I put the first set of wings down using some of this tape here. Then I put the other set on top to kind of give it like a layered effect. I used the same tape on the back of the doll and put her down. This piece is the first piece I showed you in the beginning. And then I added this. This is the beginning of the cluster that I have down here. And I cut a piece of this trellis trim from My Little Dreamer, and I put a piece back here and start laying the flowers on top of that. Now up here, I think I'm going to finish that with one of these little gems from One Little Dreamer to kind of tie it all in, because I have them down on the side. So I'll put that there. And to finish off my cluster, I think I'm going to add this little butterfly that I did earlier. I just put it on top of the flowers. But before I put it down, I think I'm going to put some, use some of this fruit punch stickles on top of the pink flower to give it a little sparkle. And put this down. I just like the way the stickles makes the flowers sparkle when you put it on. Just adding some on each of the leaves. Then I'm going to put some of this, the crystal stickles. Put some of this on the pink and white one that I have tucked in down here. Put some more random spots, the flat spots that are showing. Then I'm going to put some glue on the back of my little butterfly. And I've already bent him in half so his wings will be up. Put some glue right on the back side of his body. And just stick it in there. And some glue strings. And I have a few glue strings in here, but what I'll do is just hit it with the heat tool. I want to add something else. I had a little bird. I don't know if it's going to look right. Let me see. I have some in here. And my little birds are down here. I use this one. It's a little tiny miniature bird. I think it's so cute. I got these from Hobby Lobby, like over in the section where they have the dollhouse pieces that you can build your own dollhouse. So I may stick him in here. Oops. May stick him somewhere. Yeah, I'll stick him right on top of this flower here. So I kind of want him to be facing forward a little bit. Yeah. So I'll just put some glue right here. And then place my little birdie. But I don't want his tail to be too far off on the back side. Oh, that is my cluster. I think it came out cute. Let me get rid of these the glue strands. In 1 second, I'm gonna turn the heat tool on. And that kind of just gets rid of all the little strands of glue. I got that little tip from Marilyn G. I think it's really pretty. I think that is all I'm going to do to my tag. Yeah, I think I like her the way she is. Let me fix this so you can see. And this is my start to finish Prima doll tag. There's the top of it. And I have the little seam binder here that it can hang from. And I will get this ready to send out to Marilyn G. So I thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my first start to finish tutorial. They will get better, I promise. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check the description box for all the information for my sparkle glaze, for Marilyn G's Prima doll challenge. And I'll also leave a link down below to One Little Dreamer, Artie's Zibbet, I believe it's Zibbet shop, where you can purchase some of the bling trim if you like. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Bye.